Folks, it is Mrs. Johnson with the Agro Wisdom channel, and we are talking about Excel today. So a little bit more math, but it's going to be um, plant stuff, farm planning stuff today. So um, this video is going to be a basic overview of Excel, and then I'm going to talk about what exactly I put in Excel. So yeah, let's jump into it. I have to share my screen. Share all the screens so you can see what I'm doing. So this is Excel. Excel is a Microsoft app that is in essence a big calculator that works like a tax ledger. And as you can see, I have some information in here about what I hope to be my garden next year, because I acquired some free seeds from work because I currently work at a hardware store. And so I'm planning some things, and I figured I would take you along for the ride of planning said things for my garden next year. But let's talk about how to use Excel first and foremost. So, each little box, right? I can click and I move boxes, right? Those boxes in Excel have names. A, B, C, D. Letters are horizontal, go from left to right. Numbers go from top to bottom. One, and I can scroll way down and scroll way back up. I can scroll. Sometimes it'll let you scroll like all the way over. And it just like moves on endlessly in to the right and to the bottom. But so like this top left box, cell is what they're called in Excel. Cell is called A1. B1 to the right of it. A2 just below it. 4A, right? I can highlight a column. Columns go up and down. I can highlight several different columns, right? Now I've selected that whole section, and I can do stuff with that whole section. These are rows because I go row-wise. And I can highlight several different rows by clicking. I click, left click, and I drag. I can do the same thing for like different groups of cells. I can hit letters, right, left click a letter and drag, or left click a number and drag to highlight different rows or different columns. Now that we've identified that, we're going to talk about buttons, right? So if I hit all this stuff right here, the font alignment, that's all right, all appearance stuff. Right, I can angle stuff. I can not angle stuff. I can change where it sits. All sorts of things. This number section here, actually, I can go in and change the type of number that I'm using. So I can make it a fraction. I can make it a date. All sorts of things, right? Like row spacing right now, row spacing depth, plant spacing. Those are all general numbers. I could go in to more formatting, fraction, text, alignment, font, right? Numbers, currency. If I was talking numbers, I could change it to numbers. If I was talking times, I could change it into times. All sorts of stuff. Let's see. What else? I don't often use this styles section. I don't really ever use it. This button is kind of useful. That button's kind of useful. Formatting, I use a lot for like auto fitting, row height, right? If I were to select that, I could format auto fit row height or auto fit column width. And you'll see that when I auto fit column width, it like changes the width. See, it got smaller. Right, if I were to make one of these super big, and I could highlight the whole thing, and I could auto fit row height, and it just changes it. Makes it look all nice and presentable. Let's see. What else is useful? We'll talk about AutoSum in the next video. We'll talk about sort and filter in this video, right? So let's talk about what I have in here. I have a bunch of lists of different seeds that I acquired for free from work because it's September or October, so we send all our seeds back. And that means they're gonna go to waste if someone doesn't use them. So I brought them home so I can plant them next spring. Right. Family. This is botanical family. Species, breed, days of germination, days of harvest, row spacing, all the stuff that a lot of the stuff is stuff that I talked about in my gardening basics video of stuff that is important to know that you can pull from seed packets. Some of the stuff like seeds per gram, and desired plants, fertilizer, those are different. We'll talk about that in a different video. But let's talk about sort and filter, right? This is all sorted kind of haphazardly, chaotically. But what if I wanted to, right? I can right click, I can select all my information. And the sort and filter button is handy because I can sort alphabetically, and it'll sort alphabetically by the first column. And as you see, it didn't do anything because I've already gone in to custom sort. And custom sort is nice because it allows you to sort by column. Sometimes, depending on how you set it up, you can set it up or sort by row because I have titles up here of what's in each row, brand, organic, heirloom, right? And I could sort by whether or not it's organic, and it's going to put all the like things together. And I can custom sort. I can, if I were to custom sort by heirloom, it's going to put all the non-heirloom stuff together and all the heirloom stuff together. So then I can go, okay, right, I can highlight all the no's, and I could be like, okay, I want to do something specific with all the no's. And then it makes it easy to see things. Right, and if I wanted this in a particular order, I could sort and filter, custom sort by heirloom, but then, I have fertilizer preferences over here. So I can add a layer and say I want to sort by fertilizer choice. And then maybe I want to sort by species, right? It's gonna do all that for me, right? No. If I highlight all the no's, you see that the heirlooms are all together now. The fertilizer answers are all together secondly. Right, because it goes no, yes, no, yes, because it's sorted by that secondly. And then, if you look over here at species, it's all in alphabetical order according to where it sits within those two categories of heirloom and fertilizer. So it's helpful when you're dealing with a lot of data, right? If I were to highlight this whole thing and sort and filter by family and then species and then breed, right? I could do that. And the nice thing about that, specifically when it comes to agriculture, is particularly with plants, because when you do livestock, you don't always have different kinds of animals, is one, plant families often have the same pests, often the same like herbicide resistances and very similar conditions that they like to have. So, I can make sure that I don't plant all the Brassicaceae together here. And, if you look, I have 4 different kinds of Brassicaceae, and one of them is kale, 3 of them is radish. And so I might be, depending, then I can make decisions of, okay, well, if I want kale, I could maybe put that next to a radish, but I definitely don't want to put all 3 radishes together. Or maybe I want to put them all together and I want to sort them based on, family type, because it's going to make my life easier. Stuff like that. So that sort and filter really comes in handy. Yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about in this video. Because those couple of buttons, just surface layer, are really helpful to know. And without further ado, I hope that you are doing lovely, wonderful, amazing things, and we're learning things, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.